Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Hi guys. Um so why did I press play without being ready? Um my name's Connor. I like to do things and stuff. Hit all the buttons. Original link to the video, top of the description. Top 10 culture shocks moving from the USA to England. All right. Let's do it. Julie Montague. Yoga, tea, and the British aristocracy. Oh. Okay, let's go. Hope you guys are doing well. If not, that sucks. But you'll be good soon.
Hi everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Julie Montague, sometimes otherwise known as Viscountess Hinchingbrook. It's a mouthful, I know. But I did marry into the British aristocracy nearly 2 decades ago. I've been living here in England now for nearly 2 decades ago. I've been living.
Do you live there? And I'm very jealous.
Here in England now for nearly 20 years, and I thought it's about time that I let you all know what really my top 10 culture shocks moving from America to England are.
Let's hear it. Oh my god. You guys are so lucky over there. All of the historical landmarks. My god, it's loud.
First culture shock has to be, hands down, the weather. So
I'm already pausing, but it would depend on where you come from in the U.S. You know, if you come from, say, like Seattle. I've never been out there, but I hear it rains a lot. Maybe not. I'm already pausing. I'm sorry.
The weather is definitely a culture shock. And listen, I grew up in, outside Chicago where, it was snowy, it was windy, the windy city. We had pretty severe weather, but we did have good summers. The sun did come out in Illinois. And the sun here, it's almost like a celebration day when the sun comes out here. Today is a typical day in August. It's freezing cold. I'm gonna get on the cold in a second, but it's overcast. It probably is gonna rain. It's probably already rained. Wouldn't you say? I've got Claire and Steven who are behind the camera, or you can see Steven's from Liverpool. Claire is from around here, from Yeovil. We had such fun putting together just doing this video. So the weather, what was it like for you guys growing up? Your whole life?
Nothing to write home about. It was always just average.
Yeah. Always wet when it's summer holidays.
That's right.
Always wet.
Always, and we're gonna get onto that word, as Claire just said, summer holiday. We're gonna talk about that.
We also like moaning about the weather.
Oh, yeah.
Complaining about the weather.
Yeah.
It's a very British thing.
Everything here is about the weather. Literally moaning about the weather. Oh my gosh. I mean, listen, I'm moaning about the weather right now, and I'm not even British.
It's good practice. Number 2 is queuing.
Queuing. Now, what he means by that is not queuing like a pool table.
I don't really understand this. I've heard this in a few different, culture shocks of, say, Netherlands or Germany or Sweden, whatever. It's as if like Americans don't have lines. I know queuing, a line. You're in line for something. You're in a queue. Like, do people think we just like skip ahead of people everywhere? I don't get that much.
Or whatever. It's queuing, standing in line, because you guys line up for everything.
It's a public pastime and hobby.
Yeah.
We love a good queue.
They're just everywhere. There's queues everywhere. There's lines everywhere. You can't just like walk up in a shop and there's like people behind the till waiting for you. There's queues everywhere. So there's queues in the supermarket, which also, by the way, and I bet Claire and Steven don't know this.
Where are these supermarkets in America? How am I getting upset? How am I getting triggered right now? Where in the USA, she's from the Midwest, do they not have lines at the supermarket? This one is a pet peeve.
that
I'm
in
overreacting.
America, there's somebody bagging your groceries. So when I first arrived here, I remember my very first shop queuing in the supermarket. Finally, it's my turn. I put all my stuff on the conveyor belt. I get to the end, and she just sat there and was like, okay. And I was like, wait, do I have to bag my own groceries? She was like, yeah, you do. Okay, what did I write for number 3?
3 was food.
Food.
I wouldn't mind bagging my own groceries, but they usually do bag your groceries, yes. Ooh, fish and chips.
Listen, the food has definitely gotten better, so I'm not
Careful here.
Yeah, I have to be super
You could
careful
offend a
here,
lot.
right? Exactly. Food has definitely gotten better, but the food is definitely different. There's a lot of shepherd's pie.
That looks delicious.
Roast dinners. We love our roast dinners.
Roast dinners.
Yeah.
Fish and chips on a Friday.
Can we tell
I
the
just want
difference?
to say, I love English breakfast, everything in there, from the beans to whatever, bacon, sausage. Do you have bacon in it? Everything there. I would have fish and chips every day for lunch, and then a roast dinner, bangers and mash, or something like that, a meat pie or a shepherd's pie. That's like my favorite food for every meal. I think I would do fine with food over in the UK.
Difference between shepherd's pie and cottage pie. So shepherd's pie has what type of meat?
Lamb's mint.
Lamb's mince.
Never
which
had
we
tried
would
that.
really call it mince. We would call it ground. You call it
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. We call it ground beef. You call it minced beef. And then cottage pie is beef, right? So cottage pie has ground beef in it, as they would say minced, and shepherd's pie has minced lamb, but we would say ground lamb. Then we
I have never had lamb, but I would try it.
have, but there's a lot of
I'd love
roasts,
to.
just Sunday roasts. But it doesn't even have to be Sunday to have a roast.
A midweek roast, a roast on a Wednesday.
Roast on Wednesday. So there's
Leftovers for the roast. You make too big a roast, you have another roast the next day.
And the roast is basically your roast, chicken usually, potatoes and carrots.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And what about, are we going to talk about
That's
fish and
it.
chips?
Yeah, like Fish Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone has fish and chips on a Friday.
Hey, that's a really nice beach. That looks like a beautiful day right there. Beautiful, clean water. Nice sand from here, it looks like. Very sunny.
What about, are we going to talk about fish and chips?
Yeah, like Fish Friday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone has fish and chips on a Friday.
Friday. Yeah.
Everybody. Raymond, who has been working at
What's that?
Matt Estate for 38
Sauce.
years, has fish and chips every Friday. Claire, Steven, did you have fish and chips Friday?
Yeah.
Do you still do it?
Occasionally.
Not as much, but yeah, when I worked at the school, it was fish and chips Friday.
Right.
Always.
Fish and chips Friday.
Yeah.
So there you go. And we're going to talk about chips when we get into words.
Stay
Fries.
tuned to see how many
I'm an
English
expert.
equivalents of American words Stephen and Claire can guess right.
Okay,
I'm so
this is
ready.
a good one.
Oh.
Bangs.
Sausages?
A friend.
See, did you know that we called it bangs? So tea drinking here, and I do have my
I'm such an idiot. I thought she was saying a British word that I had. I'm sorry.
I found this in a charity shop. Elizabeth II, Queen, the current Queen, obviously, her coronation. I found this at Westminster, well, not at Westminster Abbey, but it was at Westminster Abbey 1953. But let's go to the tea. Everything. When you come in from the bad weather and you're, basically you're a drowned rat, everybody will make you a cup of tea. If you need to talk about something, you make a cup of tea. You make a cup of tea all day long, but then you still have tea time. Cup of tea.
She gets to live there, or is she just there? Because I envy you.
Tea. You make a cup of tea all day long, but then you still have tea time.
Everything stops for tea.
Tea.
Everything stops
You
for tea.
have to find time for tea.
Always boil the kettle, have your tea, but here's the question to you both. Does the milk go in first, or do you put the milk in after?
Milk in first.
What?
Milk in first.
No, milk afterwards.
First.
No, you see, that's another thing. This an afternoon tea as well, with the scones and the cream or the jam first.
Right, so it's
between different regions, there are different ways of doing things.
That's right.
But yeah, milk
But
in
it's
first is
always
for sure.
jam first.
So Claire, you put the milk in first. Stephen, you put the milk in after. And then on your scone, which we would say scone.
I had to fix something. I got to go back like 10 seconds.
But it's always jam first.
So Claire, you put the milk in first. Stephen, you put the milk in after. And then on your scone, which we would say scone, and you say a scone.
Agreed.
You put, so there's a real debate. Do you put the jam first, then the clotted cream?
The jam, then the cream.
Yeah, but some places do cream then jam.
See, I do cream then jam.
Yeah.
That's the Devon way.
It's the Devon way. That's another county.
What's the difference between like clotted cream and regular cream? Isn't clotted like you let it sit a bit longer?
Next to Dorset.
The Cornish is jam and cream.
So tea, you always have to have tea. And you, if you live here and you're American, you always have to have lots of tea bags ready. Everybody drinks tea.
Setting the table for dinner and dinner.
I just don't think that tea would do it for me. You know, like I enjoy tea, don't get me wrong. I probably enjoy the taste even better than coffee, but coffee just, it gives more of a kick, you know, and more of a, all right, ready to go. So I feel like I'd have to drink like 2 cups of tea for every one I would have drank of coffee. Sorry.
Etiquette. Scary one.
What forks, knives, spoons, plates, cups, it's sometimes you'll arrive and you're like, there are 4 knives here. And then there are 4 forks, and then there are 3 spoons. And
I used to work for a catering service for a lot of weddings. I've been to like 50 weddings just from doing that. And so you'd have to sometimes know that stuff. I forget everything.
Multitude of like plates, glasses. I still get it wrong. And setting the table, you have to do like a thumb, I think, to where everything has to be lined up. So you have to line up the edge or the bottom edge of each utensil alongside the bottom edge of the table and going all the way across, and it's about a thumb. I'm actually still really rubbish at it. I'll set it, and my husband will, I see him come around and make sure it's all perfect after I've set it.
If our viewers want to see a video about that, hit the like button and we will do a dinner etiquette video.
That's right. We will do a rubbish dinner etiquette video.
A wrong one.
A wrong one. So if you do want that video, hit the like button, comment below, and we will make that video for you.
You know what's weird about people with, she's from the Midwest, and sometimes it's really easy to tell when someone's from the Midwest or Canada. They have a similar, like, ooh, ew. Go down to university for a curly match, eh? Like, you can tell. But sometimes Midwestern, probably more Southern, like Midwestern, like Illinois, Indiana, Ohio. But she maybe down there, I can't tell at all distinguish between those accents and ones in New England. And so I wouldn't really have known if she didn't tell me.
Definitely. Next one is words.
Random note.
Viscountess, tell us about some strange English
Quiz
words.
me!
Some strange English words that I got wrong from basically day 1 meeting my English husband. So the story goes, and it doesn't just go, the story was, and it's the truth, is after dating my husband for a few months, Luke Montague, he pulled out his credit card, and on his credit card, it said this word, Viscount. So
isn't it Viscount? I thought it was Viscount. Isn't that like the title below Lord? Or that's a complete guess.
I said to him, why does your credit card say Viscount? And he looked at me slightly in horror and said, it's not Viscount, it's Viscount. I, of course, had, the greatest one-liner comeback ever. And I said, but why would it be pronounced Viscount when it's spelled exactly like discount? And that is the truth. And he thought, great, I gotta marry this girl.
That's like saying, like why is this one Kansas, but this one is not Arkansas? Is anyone? And so, like, there are definitely other words that are much like that.
So words, gosh, that's one of them. So it is, I'm afraid, Viscounts and Viscountess. But if you do meet me and you call me Viscountess, I'll give you a big hug, which we're going to talk about later.
Sorry, I feel like I'm acting a bit like an arsehole this video. Am I doing that? Do I gotta?
So we have, of course, different words. We speak the same language, but there are words that are different. So the most obvious ones are potato chips, America.
Crisps.
You guys call them, they don't even know.
Crisps.
Do you not know that we
Crisps.
Crisps.
Because crisps are called something. It's so confusing.
It's so confusing, right?
Let's double think about it.
Okay,
Give me another.
I'm gonna name what we say in America, and then you guys tell me what you say in here in English. So we would say parking lot.
Yeah,
Car park.
Car park.
Correct.
Okay, obviously French fries.
chips.
Right again.
I would say zucchini.
Aubergine.
Oh, that one is
Eggplant.
Pick again.
Is that the other way around?
That's the other one. Aubergine.
Yeah, she should have said, "What do you call eggplant?" She said zucchini, so she threw him off.
Courgette.
Yeah.
It's
Courgette.
Oh, never mind. I'm dumb.
Well done.
Courgette. Okay, so then I would say eggplants, and you would say
Aubergine.
Zucchini, I was going to say.
Like
Okay.
if I was asked this stuff like 8 months back, I would not have gotten it.
I'm gonna say washcloth.
Dishcloth.
See?
Tea towel?
As soon as I'm gonna say it.
Towel?
A flannel.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we call it a washcloth.
Yeah.
See, if I had showed you, you would have been.
I thought
that's
flannel was like a
right?
flannel shirt.
Okay, obviously we would say soccer.
Football.
Football.
Yeah, so that's easy. Okay, this is a good one. Bangs.
A friend.
Yes!
You're on fire.
Did you know that we
They
call it
already do
bangs?
Right, yeah.
I thought they were on the side, but
No,
yeah.
No, it's here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
here. Okay, cookie.
Biscuit.
Biscuit.
Right again.
I knew it. I needed more
We do have
time.
cookies, yeah.
But I think it's
And we have
a
Jaffa cakes, which are biscuits.
Believe
but
me.
they're not actually biscuits, they're
See?
classified
No,
as
Jaffa
cakes.
cake is a cake.
Jaffa cake to me is a cookie.
What's the difference between a cake and a biscuit?
What's the difference between a biscuit and a cookie?
You're right. See, we're gonna get into this big argument. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, wait, this is so fun. I've got to do a couple more. Obviously, we say vacation.
Holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, and the one I don't get is when it's snowing.
I guess it would sound a little strange if someone said go on holiday. Sorry if you hear some hammering in the background.
Which it never does here, but you know, maybe one day out of every 10 years,
Construction.
everybody would get out with this much snow. They would get out their sleds.
Yeah. Sledge.
Well done.
Sledge, like a sledgehammer.
But we go sledding, but we have sledges.
What?
We don't go sledging. We go sledding, yeah. No, yeah, it's sledding.
But you have sledges.
But we have sledges.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one is
I'll agree with you on that
strange.
one, that doesn't make any sense.
So we'll stop there because we could go on and on and on.
Well,
but
we do have, turn the tables a little bit, we've got place names.
okay, so we would say
I need to guess. Lowborough?
I would say log.
I go
Well, I know how to say it the right way.
Lowborough? Lowborough?
Burrug, Logburrug,
Burrug.
right? And it's
Correct one it is.
Loughborough.
Yeah,
Loughborough.
Loughborough. So I've been here, but we would say
Slightly trickier one.
Logburug.
This one's in Wales. See if you can have a go at that one.
Oh, it's the long one. Lithuanian, Gillian, go, go, go.
Okay, I can't even see that. That's Lanfar Pil Gwingil Gorgig Drob Will Ant. Do you know how to pronounce that?
Lenfair will gwyn lil goger your windrob will on Teosilian go go go.
I don't actually.
Right.
That's why we should have done the research for the thing. But yeah, it's a long
But-
place
That
name.
video with the guy, the
Even things
weatherman.
Like, I know how to pronounce it now, but when I first came here, Leicester Square.
Yes.
But it's Leicester.
Yeah.
Grove is a.
You see, I've said this before. If you're from New England, she's from the Midwest. We have a lot of cities and town names that are exactly are from English names, taken from English names, and so we have Gloucester or Worcester and stuff like that. That we so if you ask people from New England, I think they would do much better with the pronunciation. Like Worcester, looks like Worcester, and Gloucester looks like Gloucester. But so I think, a little bit easier time. for
Grove-
some.
Worcester and
Worcestershire.
yeah,
Worcestershire.
Lancashire, but it's Lancashire.
sure.
Worcestershire.
like Worcestershire sauce, or
Grosvenor Square, but it's Grosvenor
I
Square.
don't know how we
I don't even know.
just thought it was normal, but
Yeah.
apparently it is.
See, we just make it easier. That's all.
Shorten them. That's
right. We should.
The next one, slightly related to the weather, and I mean topical for you. It's always cold, and you're always cold. So.
It's always cold, especially in these historic houses. It's always cold. It's just always cold. Like my husband I'll be like, can you just turn the heat up? He's like, it's hot in here. I'm like, hot in
You're
here.
from the Midwest.
So that's why you see
used
me
to-
wearing a hat a lot. So even in my videos when it's like summer and I'm filming, I'll still a lot of the times be wearing a hat.
Narrow roads and roundabouts.
Don't like older like brick style or stone, really old buildings kind of have less insulation?
And the fact that we drive on the right side of the road, but you'd say we drive on the left side, but that's the right side.
But that's the wrong side. So that's the wrong side of the road.
But especially here, the narrow roads.
The roads are this big. They go like this. So if you're prone to car sickness, I would think twice about visiting here. Then they don't have like yield signs here. They have roundabouts. And
I think
you
they're
can
superior.
get stuck. I mean, when I first got my license here, I would just sit at the roundabout with people honking behind me, being like, lady, you gotta go. And I'm like, I don't know when to go. And then, of course, they drive on the wrong side of the road. I mean, you're one of like a handful of countries that drive on the left side.
I feel like I'm pausing so much, sorry, but me and my dad and brother last went to Europe, flew into Heathrow, and then rented a car in England with an English-style car with the steering wheel on the right and driving on the left, and then going through the tunnel into Europe, switching sides and having an English car, but then driving again on the right. It was crazy.
The road. Come on, it's the wrong side.
I feel like I mumbled. It was crazy.
Debatable.
Swimming in the sea.
Everybody here. So remember, the UK, you don't even have to remember this because you know this, is an island. So it's surrounded by water, and it's not Mediterranean water at all. It's not the Caribbean. It's freezing cold all year round. All year round, even in summer, because there isn't really summer here, because it's freezing cold here in the summer. Everybody here swims in this freezing cold sea like it's the Mediterranean.
It's usually about 9 or 10 degrees Celsius. That's another one that we didn't have actually.
It's
a
been
Celsius and
18
Fahrenheit.
degrees recently,
Really?
Anyone from Great Britain, England or whatever, and you want to move, like a lot of what they're saying about weather could easily be said about New England over here. Maybe not as bad as like the all-around rain. We do get really hot summers and really cold winters, but a lot of similar stuff. The water is usually pretty cold. So if you want to go to America with a similar climate, I'd recommend New England. And New England's the best.
I don't even know what that means. I've been
that's
here
still
20
cold.
years.
That's
18
still quite
degrees,
cold.
what is that like? That is not hot. That's like
50, 60 maybe Fahrenheit.
18 degrees Celsius would be, it's times 1.2. What did she say? 16?
years. 18 degrees.
18 would be 36 plus, that'd be like 60. It'd be about 65, 66, 67 degrees, right?
What is that like? That is not hot. That's like
50, 60 maybe Fahrenheit.
no, I think it's like 65 degrees Fahrenheit. If you think going swimming in a sea
It's times
in
1.8
65
plus
degrees Fahrenheit
32.
or whatever is warm. Claire thinks it's
I was
warm.
like, that's warm. For a diver, that is warm. That's tropical.
It's cold. The sea's always cold.
And the final one is we're a lot more reserved, so we don't. When you go and greet someone, it's usually a handshake or something. There's no hugs. There's
Right.
no kind of.
Hugs
there's
are
very
off
little
limits.
kissing.
So they handshake. They either handshake, or they're like, oh, if you know them like a little bit more familiar, it can be like that's what I do with
No,
my
like
friends,
big-
my English friends, and then of course, but I do still give my English friends who I do love and adore a big hug as
Curtsy?
well. So, but you don't really hug here, do you guys?
No, we're a lot more reserved in the way we.
Yeah, you're a lot more reserved with everything.
Stiff upper lip.
Stiff upper lip, whereas the American, we wear our emotions on our sleeve.
Do you know what my theory is? I pause so much. Do you know what my kind of theory is about that, or about, it's like, in order to like the gene pool that would make the trip from Europe over over to the U.S. Would be the kind of crazy, desperate people who who are gonna try and make that journey and risk it and go over there. And so I feel like I heard this from Stephen Fry watching him, and how it kind of creates a more kind of out there. Even though you might not find a more introverted person than myself, but never mind.
So there you go. Was that it?
This is one of my
That's
worst
top
pausing
10.
videos.
That was the top 10. So let us know down below what was your favorite of these top 10s and anything else, those of you who have traveled to
like
the
the
UK
words.
from America or anywhere else in the world that has been your culture shock. We'd love to hear. Here's my last question, though, to Claire and to Stephen. Have you been to America?
No.
So I can't even ask you my burning question.
We say we've gone to Canada, and that's pretty much the same thing.
Canada. Yeah, he said Canada is honestly the same thing.
Don't say that. You just annoyed him. Yeah. Okay. So thanks you guys so much for joining me.
Sorta
Again,
true.
comment down below. Do subscribe to my channel. Lots more coming. And yeah, bye for now. And thanks.
I was gonna say, other than like, UK and Ireland maybe, or New Zealand and Australia, or I was gonna say North and South Korea for a second, but no, never mind. Bad. Yeah. Maybe Korea, Japan. Anyways, there are certain countries that are both very close to one another and are just so culturally similar that it's almost difficult to tell from meeting them if they're New Zealand or Australian or Ireland or UK. That might be a little easier, or Canada or the US. I feel like especially New Zealand, Australia, Canada, US, it's just like if one of those countries moves to the other, there's going to be very little adaptation needed. If Canada, the US, US to Canada, Ireland to UK, UK to Ireland. I'm so talkative. New Zealand, Australia, vice versa. And I can't really think of much other. Maybe like Belarus and Russia. Scandinavian countries. Anyways. Awesome. Cool. Great. Germany and Austria. I'm thinking of a lot. All right. Awesome, guys. Cool video. See you next time.